Hey guys, this is Deb Joyce Meek from Delight of My Art, and today we're doing an oldie but a goodie. I am recreating my Easter baskets. Now, I used to make these for craft fairs and other kinds of things. I would pop up at our local Big B and make things for our downtown shop here, and these were good sellers for me. So the little baskets, this is an old one, so this is using some retired products, but I needed to recreate it with some things that we have now. So this is a super cute little basket with a little covered a little piece in there, and it's got some little grass from the Dollar Tree. And I thought this was so cute, and we need to make another one. So this basket, this basket weave embossing folder is retired. So I thought, what can I use that we have now that we could use instead of that? We don't have that anymore. We don't have these cute little butterflies either. I think that was a punch. We do actually still have this, and this is on 20% off. Happy Easter, happy spring, happy, happy everything. So that is in this timeless tulip set. We'll go ahead and use that again. And I just wanted to pull this set in. This is 20% off, this timeless tulip set. We are keeping the punch that goes along with it for the next year. It's in our new catalog, but for some reason this is retiring. I love this set. And just as an example, I have another video where you can make tulip pens with this stamp set and punch. I love how they just are on the top there with a little sequin on top. These little ladybug details are on 20% off, I think, or actually they're on the clearance rack right now. And this daisy punch, again, I love this punch. This is going on clearance, not clearance, retiring. It's 20% off as well. And I do have another video where you can make these little in a salt and pepper shakers. And these were good sellers at craft fairs also. So I have another video for that. And I'll try to link to both of those videos in the description. And the other thing that I'm using is this macrame folder. Again, 20% off. And I thought this looked like a nice basket weave. So the one that we'll be recreating today has that fun texture on it. Isn't that cute? So we'll go ahead and decorate that. We've got a little bit of striping in the handle here. And we've got this really cool insert that was made just using one 6x6 piece of DSP. So I'll show you how to fold and score all of that as well. So let's get started. Go down to the desktop here, just a moment. Oh, and I also wanted to point out my brand new annual catalog came in the mail, and I'm super excited about this. So here's a very cool sneak peek of some brand new products. My pre-order box will come next Friday, so I'll do an unboxing. Hopefully it won't be coming too late in the day, but this little edging right here is a new die, and I'm super excited about it. Anyway, so I'll be creating a survey so that you can reserve your copy of the annual catalog. But for now, let's get to making this cute little Easter basket. So I'll put this here for reference. And let's get out our pieces. So I have a piece of DSP. This is actually part of, let's see, where did it go? Right here. This is the Pansy Petals Designer Series paper. I believe this is also on closeout. So it has 3 different colors in this fun plaid. So I've got the purple posy, I think, no, fresh freesia, sorry. Fresh freesia and pale papaya and soft succulent. So you can do these baskets in all 3 of those colors. And I bet a bunch of these other colors would probably work really cute in there too. But we'll use the fresh freesia today. So I've got 1 whole piece, 8.5 by 11 of fresh freesia, and 1 6x6 of fresh freesia. So if you're making these for a craft fair, I'm going to show you how to maximize your paper usage so that you can make a bunch of these at once without wasting paper. So I think that's important. All right, so let's get out our trimmer. Excuse my squeaky chair. All right, so we're going to start with the cardstock. I'm just going to look at my little note here. So we are going to cut this at 6 inches this way So it's just up and down in your trimmer this way, your whole paper. So that's 8.5 by 11. I'm just going to put it against that guard. It'll cut it perfectly at 6 inches. And this way we reserve, excuse me, this long piece for our handles. And then when we turn this, we can cut it at 5.5 and make 2 baskets out of this one piece. So the pieces that you're wanting to end up with is 6 by 5.5. And then this way you can get 2 baskets from your one piece. So let's keep this actually here. We're going to put this piece to the side for now. We're only making 1 basket at the moment. We'll go ahead and cut our handle piece. No, I don't remember how thick that was. I didn't leave that in my note. All right, that is 5/8 of an inch. So we'll just go ahead and make a strip of 5/8 of an inch. Just like that. And while we're in here, let's go ahead and show you how to do this. This is kind of cool. So we're going to take our scoring blade and put this in at, let's see, yeah, 1/2 inch. And again at 1/4 inch. Make sure it's straight. And then we're going to turn it over and do stripes on the other side. We're going to do the same thing, 1/2 inch and 1/4 inch. So this will give us a fun kind of striped handle without having to do too much work. So there we go. And I don't remember how long this was either. I don't know if I put that in my notes. I don't think I did. I'm sorry. So let's go ahead and I think it's 9. It is. It's 9. All right, so 9 inches. We'll just go ahead and extend this arm right here. And cut this at 9 inches. So you see with our scrap piece here, we have enough for at least 1 more handle, probably a few more, and maybe even some extra embellishments or tags or labels or something with that. So we've got our 9 inch by 5/8 of an inch handle. And now we're going to take our basket. And this is going to be the 6 inches by the 5.5. I'm going to move this out of the way. And we're going to score this. Get your blade out of the way. We're going to score this at, so we have the 6 inch side at the top, 1 3/4. And then we can turn it over and do 1 3/4. Actually, I think that's the way all the way around is 1 3/4. That would make sense. So we are left with a rectangle in the middle. And so what we're going to do here is just kind of fold it on these lines so you can see them a little bit easier. And I'll show you how to emboss this piece, which is a little bit tricky, but we can handle it. All right, so this is actually cut on the sides here. So along the 6 inch side, we are going to cut up to that center score line. Straight cuts. You don't want to do any trimming of the little corners like we do sometimes on boxes, just a straight cut. Just like that. And then we will get our Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine up here. Sorry, I think I just bumped the camera. All right, so we have to use the big one for this one. I'll just put it slightly off camera here so you can kind of see what I'm doing, hopefully. Let's see. Let's move this over just a little bit. All right, so I'm going to get my platform here. Got my number 1 platform. So what we're doing is this sandwich right here, number 1 and number 4. Number 4 is for 3D embossing folders, and this macrame is a 3D. So we will be putting our paper in here. Now look, it doesn't fit in here all the way. It's not going to cover the entire thing. So I have a workaround. Line up the edge to the score line on the one side here, right up to the top of the design. See, it's going to go the full length here, top to bottom, and then you line up your edge of that score line with the edge of not the folder but the pattern. Hopefully that makes sense, because you want that to go right up to that edge of that score line. And then we're going to go ahead and place that gently down with the seam at the top here. And run that through. Whoops. And then we're going to put it in again, lined up on the other side of that score line. And you might get a little bit of overlapping pattern. This one's busy enough where it will just kind of disappear on there, and that's the bottom side anyway of the basket. We really want our sides to be nice. So here we're going to just go ahead and run that through one more time. You see it fits perfectly in here, even though it's hanging out of the edge. Your folder is still in and your paper is still in. Hello, Becky. Thank you for watching. Making these cute little Easter baskets today. All right, so now you can see that we have a full patterned basket looking piece for our basket. So I'll go ahead and put this off to the side now. Excuse my squeaky chair. It is so squeaky. All right. Okay, so now we have this. I'm going to get my tear and tape out. I tried to use liquid glue the last time and it was a little bit fussy trying to hold it all together. So we are just going to use tear and tape. I think it will be easier. But you can use liquid glue. That's what I used for this, and it is still together. So just go ahead and fold it on all the lines. The big pieces here will be going in the middle, and these side pieces will just be coming up. You will be almost closing, but you will leave a little V. The V should be smaller, though, than your handle, because this will be covering it up. Hopefully that makes sense. You can kind of see on the inside of this that I have this V here, but it's hidden on the inside. So when you're creating your little thing here, we will need tear and tape on the inside edges of this right here. And in order to know which edges you need, just kind of fold it together and go, oh yeah, okay, so I need it right here and right here. And that is right there. So that will give it a good hold here. With this being embossed, I'm a little bit wary to rip it. I know it is tear and tape, but just to be extra careful, I don't want to rip my piece that I just so carefully embossed. So I'll just go ahead and snip it off. Now, once paper gets embossed, it gets a little bit more delicate. Ooh, I'm throwing things. All right. Hopefully everybody's having a good day today. It's Friday. Hopefully you have fun weekend plans. My son just turned 12 yesterday, so that was fun. He wanted to go to Chipotle. And previously when he picked it, we accidentally called it Picholte, and now that's what we're calling it. So it is forever going to be Picholte. This makes me laugh. What other fun little family things do you guys have that you once called by the wrong name and now you're forever going to call it that. I just think it's funny how family traditions start like that. So yeah, ours started last week. Picholte. We love going to Picholte and eating. It was National Burrito Day yesterday, by the way, which worked out perfectly. All right, so I'm just going to fold this so that I've got this little V and the sides are pretty even. There we go. That was so much easier than the liquid glue, you guys. I usually love using liquid glue because it gives you time, but I don't want time. I want this to stick the first time I stick it down. All right, so I'm going to take my V here, try to make it the same size as the other side. And that looks pretty similar. All right, you can add some extra tear and tape to this edge here if you want to. That might have been a smart idea. I didn't think of that because I used liquid glue last time, so maybe we should do that. Maybe just a thin line. If I can find the edge here, here it is. What if we did this? Just kind of sneak it in there. So yeah, while your piece is open, you're just going to add that to the outside top of those middle ones. But it's not too hard to add it at the end here. That wasn't too painless. That wasn't too painful. It was painless. I should learn to speak. All right. So just stick that on the top there. Hopefully you're seeing what I'm doing. I'm sticking that right there, and I'm just going to peel the backing off. That'll just give it more stability. If I can grab it. There we go. There, look at our cute little basket. You could even just leave it like this, but I think the handle just makes it. Now, I have a note. If you want to make these for a craft fair and you make a whole bunch, and just like at a craft fair, you want to make more than what you're actually going to sell, which means that you're going to have to store some until next year because this is pretty seasonable. And you can store these better if you don't have the handles on them. They'll just stack up like that. So if you want to make your handles removable so that you can stack them for the ones that you don't sell, I would add the handle with a brad that you can undo and just take the handles off and just reattach those for next year. That's just my hint there. If you have the space to store them all put together, that's fine. They might be easier to take to your craft fair if they're taken apart too. Maybe not. It'll be quicker to kind of put them on your table if they're already put together. So I'm not going to leave the handle off. I'm going to put it on. So I'm going to put some tear and tape right up against this bottom little V here, up to my other V. Sort of straight. And then clip that off before it gets to that open spot because I don't want glue on the inside. Give that a good press. This is where my handle will go. We'll go ahead and do the other side while it's there. Straight from the curve of that V and that one, the curve, the point. All right. I really do like this basket weave. Macrame 3D embossing folder, it's called. I actually might like it even better than this baskety one because it's a lot more detailed. It's really interesting. Anyway, it's 20% off right now. You may as well just pick it up. Go to orderwithdeb.com. It's only like $8 or something. All right, so I'll take my tear and tape off. Go straight up. And come on down this way. And we already sized this to be the 9 inches, so it should be just the right length. Actually, I'm going to take this and just kind of fold it, just kind of let it bend just naturally with my finger, and that'll give it a better bend for the handle. So cute, right? There's our basket. They're pretty simple to put together. And you can do a couple at a time. I bet you could even emboss a couple at a time. I'm not sure. I haven't tried that. Anyway, the grass stuff I got from the Dollar Tree. So you can pick up a bag of that. I think it's like $1, maybe $1.25 now. But let's go ahead and make this cool insert piece. So this is my plaid little blanket that will go inside of the basket. We'll take our trimmer back out. And this is a little bit tricky, but I think we can do it. All right, so I'll take this. I'm going to use it point up and point down to do all of these score lines. My camera's a little bit crooked. I apologize. All right, so I'm going to put this in here so that the point here is what I'm measuring away here. So this point will go at 1.5. And how are we going to get this to be straight? Actually, we're going to go with the arm out and go 1.5, which is all the way up to this gray line here on the right side. So that way I can tell if my points here are on the same line on the trimmer. Hopefully that makes sense. So they should be on the 2 3/4 line. Is that right? Yes. So your point here should be on the 2 3/4 and down here as well. And you'll take your scoring blade and score there. You're going to turn this over and do the same thing so that your one that we just did is right here. So we want this at 2 3/4 and 2 3/4 so that this side is at 1.5. And then we want to do, let's see, 3. So now we need to do, I'm not sure how to put this in the trimmer. All right. Does that make sense? 3 1/4. Sorry, just a second. Okay, I got it. So your points here will be at 1 inch and 1 inch so that it's straight. And that puts this point at 3 1/4. And we do the same thing again on the other side. So you put it at 1 inch and 1 inch. Okay. Now we're going to turn this so that all of our score lines are now going like this so that we can do the other sides. So now we're going to do 1 1/4 in from the side, which means that I need to do it from this side. All right, so this point over here is going to land at the 1 1/4, which means that we are landing on the 3 inch line. So make sure your up and down points are on that 3 inch line right there. And we'll turn it around and do the same thing, 3 inches. And that is 1 1/4 over here. And we're going to go, this is going to be a little tricky. Let's see. How are we going to do this? I'm trying to get this 3 inches in from the side here, but we're almost off the track here. So I think I'll do it from the other side, which is tricky. Okay, so let's figure out where this would land. I think it's going to land, oh wait, at 1 1/4. All right, we can do it over here. So over here at 1 1/4, your top point is here, and down here at 1 1/4. Over here, the point is landing at 3 inches. That's where we want it. Okay, you can see that this is right at 1 1/4 on this side. Score, turn it around, Same thing on the other side. 1 1/4 over here. That is a little bit tricky. This is the trickiest part, is doing this little aprony fold thing. Okay, so now we've got some bigger triangles and some littler triangles. Hopefully that makes sense. So you got a bigger one and kind of a smaller one on these two sides. And we're just going to go ahead and fold a bunch of these up. So the ones on the ends go down and the ones on the inside will go up, because you want it to fit into a basket. And we have a couple more snips to do, actually. Let's see, one more right here. Okay. All right, so I don't know if you can see this on camera. I can barely see it in person, but I've got a rectangle here at the bottom of my piece here, which will fit into the bottom rectangle of the basket. So you've got your small rectangles here on the side, triangles, and your bigger triangle at the top here. I should do this in cardstock so you can see it better, but I'm going to go in. Actually, let's look at this one. We're going to make some cuts here. Here's our big triangles and here's our small ones. So over by the small ones, I'm going to go in a little bit from the fold line and just snip to the corner. So let's get this out of the way. I'll take my scissors. Here's my notes and find my small triangles. Here's my small triangle. I'm just going to go over a little bit from there and just cut straight over. This doesn't have to be perfect because it all hides in the basket anyway. But I'm cutting up to the center corner of the middle rectangle. I hope that makes sense. I'm cutting a little bit closer to this triangle than to the bigger triangle, to the small one. So I'm just going to go over a little bit. I'm not measuring. It's just going to cut a little bit like that. So here is my other small triangle. Here are my fold lines right here and right here. I'm just going to go into this one and cut up to that little corner and over there. I don't want to go too far. Okay. So our big triangles can actually be glued down. We don't want to glue the little ones. So this is our inside of our bag or our basket, our little cloth. So we're going to turn it over, and I'll just take some seal here and glue down our big triangles. There. Now, if you want to just kind of shove this in your basket just to see how it fits, these little side tabs tuck under your small rectangles, which are going to float over the edge there. Oh, you see here I didn't do this little piece right, did I? I think it's fine. I think I ripped it. It'll be fine. All right, so yeah, I ripped this. I wonder if I can just tape that underneath. I probably can. All right, so this just kind of floats into here. You really don't have to do any more gluing if you don't want to, but you can. This should fit just right. Oh, you know what I didn't do? These little tabs right here, there we go, next to the small triangles, fold backwards. That's what I didn't do. We got to hide those. That'll help this to sit in this basket a little bit more naturally. So these little tiny tabs that we did. And then these will tuck behind here. You probably don't want to glue those because that will make this 3D and a little bit harder to store if you don't sell all of your products. This way you can take out baskets. I keep saying baskets, the little blankets, and lay them all flat to store. And they just fit in there nicely. So these little side tabs will tuck behind those in order to fit in this basket. And just shove it in there. and bend these over the edge there. Give it a pinch, and it's so cute. Isn't that cute? So you can put your little fake grass in there and decorate this how you want. I punched out a daisy using this same color, using the big daisy punch, which you're going to want to get because it's 20% off, and you have to have it if you do craft fairs for sure. And we can put that on there. It can be tone on tone, or you can create this in other colors. You could put it on the top or the up a little bit. Decorate this how you want for Easter or for Mother's Day or just for summertime. You could put something cute in there. So thank you so much for watching. This should be a good timeless video because you should be able to recreate this with new products as they come along. But for real, you probably want to pick the retiring things up because they're all 20% off right now. But here is the old version and here is the newer version. So I just embossed that little sentiment in white on a banner and then just kind of flag cut the ends. I put a dimensional in the middle so that it would stick up a little bit, and then curled the ends up a little bit and just stuck those flat down. And I added a little bow on this one. I do like the flower idea for this one. You could add any modern butterfly or little bee trinkets. By the way, we have these on clearance right now too. These are another thing that I think is a must-have. I think these are 20% off too. They're so stinking cute. That would look good on here. Oh my goodness. But if you're doing a craft fair, maybe not, because these are probably still too expensive to just kind of randomly put on something that you want to make a good profit on. But if you're giving a gift, for sure, put some of those on there. So thank you so much for watching. I hope everybody has a fabulous weekend. And I would love for you to choose me as your demonstrator. Shop with me anytime at orderwithdeb.com. Thank you guys. Have a great day.